What's up, everyone, and welcome to Clear Talk. So, Billie Eilish has been going off here lately, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I think it's actually quite amazing to have the people calling out, people being called out for their wealth and like the argument of irresponsibility with that wealth. I love it. I absolutely love it. So we're going to talk about this real quick, about, the whole Billie Eilish, where she's, first she went off on billionaires in general. And then here, in the past few days, she has targeted Elon specifically. And hey, we're going to talk about it and what I think about it. So thank you very much for joining me here. If you are new to Clear Talk, welcome. And consider, checking out more videos from the channel. Consider subscribing, like, share, comment, all that good stuff, to help give more videos to more people. If you would like to check out videos from my other channels, JMDPLAY, Puzzling, and you like what you see there, subscribe over there as well. That would be amazing. Help out all the channels if you like. Become, a part of all of JMD Nation. That would be amazing. I would love to see some, people that I'm seeing in every single channel commenting and giving feedback and talking. That would be cool. That'd be cool as hell. And then if you want to give any kind of support, there's Patreon there, $3 a month. You can help with any of the channels on there. To help them grow, help Patreon grow, help the JMD Nation grow. That would be amazing. Keep me doing this. That's what I would love to do, is to keep doing this, as long as I can. Or if we just wanted to give a one-time donation, that's fine as well. Any way you want to support JMD Nation, is very much appreciated. Thank you very much. And if you're returning, you're freaking amazing. Thank you very much for coming back over and over and over and over and over again, because you are what makes up JMD Nation. So, okay, yeah. First you had Billie Eilish come out at the Grammy. No, not the Grammys. She came out. What award show was that she come out at? Oh, the 2005 WSJ Innovator Awards. She first came out there. And made some kind of comment while she got up for a reward. She won the, what did she win? Innovator of the Year award, I think. Something like that. And she gets up there and she says, love you all, but there's a few people in here that have a lot more money than me. With a place that was packed with stars, and even the Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg and whatever. And she said, if you're a billionaire, she posed the question, why are you a billionaire? And she said, no hate, but give your money away, shorties. I mean, and Billie Eilish fashion, she's just calling them out. That's the question. Why are you a billionaire? And I've brought that question up several times. Like, why do billionaires even exist? And with the amount that you could use to solve all kinds of, we talk about all these problems all around the world. World hungry, endangered species, climate issues, all the, you could solve, these billionaires, people with this type of money could solve so many things. And people are like, yeah, I mean, they're doing philanthropy. Boy, my mouth is not working with me on that word. Philanthropy. Shit. That's helping the world and a progression of stuff for us to work. Okay, they're helping industry, sure, keeping us in servitude, certainly. But we're talking about substance stuff, doing things that substantially lift up humanity. Okay, give humanity a genuinely better life. And I was talking with my girlfriend about this. I think it was even yesterday. How that if when this was on the subject of people like not seemingly caring about actually lifting people up, like actually doing good for people. The point of going to Washington or whatever, being a representative of us, to do and act for policies that actually lift us up. Not policies that constantly bring us down or diminishing, or destroying agencies that were founded to actually lift us up or help us in some kind of way. Like when talking about this administration or anybody in Congress that is pushing for policies to end things that would generally help people, because you're not generally helping the economy or building or giving us more money or better conditions for living. It's like, and I was arguing this, especially on the Democratic Party, where although there's often this argument, and I've even made this argument previously, how there's not a whole lot of difference between the Republican or Democratic Party. They are all corrupt, and they all don't really do enough to help anybody out. But this administration and the move, and I would admit that I was that's a little distorted, because the move of the Republican Party has certainly revealed that one party is better than the other. But the problem still lies in that the Democratic Party still doesn't do enough, doesn't do what it can. It doesn't fight hard enough to actually substantially help people. Yeah, there's like food crumbs here and there that they, adjust the things around just to keep things going and make, because they're always worried about making the other side a little happy to some extent. And I don't fucking understand why. It's like, at this point, fuck it, man. If you really want to fucking help the American people, then fucking help the American people. Don't give a fuck what the other side says or thinks or whatever. Just fucking do it. And that was my whole, if these people genuinely cared, you would want, if you want things to actually be successful, if you want the country to truly grow and for conditions to get better, for everything to improve, you would want to uplift the population, all right, the morality of the population, in their happiness, okay, so that they are more willing to go and work without attitudes because they're happy, or what. If you wanted to really end the strife and stuff that forces people at drugs and with this drug war bullshit, or even the war on terror, if you wanted to end or significantly decrease terror around terror groups and terror activity around the world, you would actually want to make people happier. Show that you actually have compassion and care for humanity, not just for America. That's the reason my issue with America first, America only shit. You shouldn't want to only worry about Americans, which is great. I understand. Just let's concentrate on Americans. Why are we prioritizing everyone else, it seems, over Americans? I get that argument. But while you bring up and lift up Americans, at the same time, you can do that with everybody. You can lift up everybody. Okay? If you were to make everybody's life substantially better across the world, then you would have less likelihood of people falling into terror, angry with nations and angry with groups or people. A lot of the groups that the American government dictates as terrorist, those terrorists in their indoctrinations or their excuses or whatever for what they do is because they hate us. And why do they hate? No, it's like that's where a lot of people just stop. A lot of people just stop, like, oh, they hate us, and so we got to do something about it. But you don't go to the next step and ask, but why do they hate us? Why do they fucking hate us? And it's because of the actions that our country has done over the decades to their area, to their region. Coming in and forcing our ideals or forcing this or forcing that or taking resources or and manipulating deals or whatever just because so we can strip of resources or what. Like we have destroyed the Middle East. We have literally destroyed the Middle East. And then we sit here and wonder why people hate us. Like, I'm like, it's like this sheer ignorance or foolishness around, why we're hated so much. But if you were to actually change the whole zeitgeist of how we look at the world and how we actually contribute and to actually pull up the world, to improve conditions, to go into other countries respectfully and more, actually like democratically, if we wanted to actually influence democracy, we wouldn't do it through threats and war and violence. We would do it through compassionate channels of talks, diplomacy, and like working with each other, not trying to manipulate and take over. Imperialism. That's where we have failed in this country. That's where we have failed with making democracy something that is, favored throughout the rest of the world through some of these areas, because it's only been found favorable in areas where we are willing to actually be diplomatic. And the areas that it hasn't worked is the areas where we're not trying to be diplomatic. We're just trying to take, strip, change. And I know I'm kind of going all over the place, but it's all under the same. It's all under the same thing here. It's about taking care of people and bringing people. If you genuinely wanted to actually help, if you wanted to end drug usage or significantly reduce drug usage, alcohol usage, and terror, crime, from the largest of, like, the most aggressive of crime to the most just simplest of crimes. You would lift up people. You would make people happy. Okay. You would bring up people in society so that they have the least amount of stress, the least amount of anxiety, the least amount of pressure and disdain for life. And then people would be less likely, have less initiative to try to use those things as either coping mechanisms or for, resolving anger or whatever. Like, that's what you would be doing. And I even made like the joke with my girlfriend yesterday. I wish politicians, I don't know if anybody ever played the game SimCity. Have you ever played SimCity? I'm a gamer. I've been a gamer for almost my whole life, pretty much. I've played SimCity. I've played a couple of different versions of SimCity. It's basically, a simulation game of you trying to build a civilization, a city, and for that city to be successful, ultimately, and grow and progress through the times and into future, whatever, like, you needed to make sure that the population was happy. Like, that was the whole intent. As long as they're happy, then they're productive, and the city and or whatever can thrive. And I was making the joke that I wish all politicians had to fucking play that game. Like that be their that be their test as to whether or not they would be successful in Washington. If they could play that game and actually be successful and grow that city into, a prosperous city and whatnot by making sure that they maintained and helped and keep people happy, then they would be okay to go into fucking Congress and go into Washington, because they would be going in understanding what it would be like to actually make a country successful, like truly fucking successful, to have a population that was truly fucking successful and happy. And if we had done that all along, if that was being the initiative from the get-go, from many nations, any nation, even in history, they would have been more successful. We would have been, way more advanced at this point. Technology would be way more advanced because everybody would be working together more. And we probably have fucking flying cars by now. But we're constantly keeping civilization back because we want to keep, because of the greed amongst the wealthy and powerful, to keep everybody down and so that they can be successful. It's the few that want success while they keep everybody else down instead of actually bringing up everybody. And so that's what we're having here when Billie's pointing this out. And it's not like she's the first person to ever pull this out, but she's a significant person for her generation to bring this out in the sentiment of her generation. To point out to these billionaires, hey, like, you could be doing something. Like, you are a fucking billionaire. But she didn't stop there. She woke up the other day and said, you know what? Hell, let me go after Elon Musk. So she fires at Elon Musk with, I think it was an Instagram post. And she posted up basically like this picture. Here it is here, I think. Talking about, things that he could do with his hundreds of billions of dollars. End world hunger. Musk could choose to spend $40 billion every year to end world hunger by 2030, or provide universal, safe, clean water for $140 billion for the planet for the next 7 years. Save endangered species, to save all 10,443 critically endangered species. Musk could pay $1.2 billion annually to bring all of them down in the endangered status, or rebuild Gaza. With just $53 billion, Musk could rebuild Gaza and occupy in the occupied West Bank, according to the EU. Although the United Nations predicts that this could be upwards of $70 billion for Gaza alone. If we want to spread the wealth and aid further, he could also rebuild Ukraine and Syria at the cost of $793 billion. Now, yeah, that would be that's upwards of what he's worth. But the point, and then she says, etc. I think there was one other one, but I'm not sure which one it was, because it's 1, 3, 4. I'm sure I think it was 4 points, but I can't remember what the other one was. And then she says, etc. Fucking pathetic pussy bitch coward. It's funny. It is funny. But yeah, the point was, and there's lots of people sharing this all over like crazy. And his response to her was, she's not the sharpest tool in the shed. Okay. All right. I guess that's kind of the best you got, right? There's some post here pointing out how, Billie Eilish herself, okay, she's a millionaire, right? She's a millionaire. She has worked and put out and been an entertainer. And she has, gained a huge fan base. She's made millions of dollars, certainly. It shows here, states Billie Eilish has donated $11 million to charity, which is about 20% of her net worth. 20%. When we were talking about, like the idea of taxing the wealth, we were just saying like 2%, 1 or 2%. And that was like of ultra wealth, like anything over a certain amount, we tax it. And that in itself would have made a lot of money for the government and for programs and stuff to help people in around the country or whatever. She's willing to give away 20% of her net worth to charities. Now, you could argue, okay, yeah, but what charities? I don't know. I don't know what charities. But I feel like I'm more like conditioned to think that she is putting it towards charities that actually are doing something than Elon would. And people were stating, okay, yes, but he gives money to charity. You don't understand his philanthropy and blah 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 blah. But a lot of this stuff is going through his own foundation. Okay, he has his own foundation that he sends money into that's supposed to supposedly do charities around the world or whatever. But it's his own charity, his own foundation. So do you trust that it's actually going into anything that he says it might be going into? I mean, I'm just saying. But the amount of money that we're talking about that he has, okay, to argue around, with her even saying that, there's probably even some going, oh yeah, well you do it. We're talking about a substantially more money than even Billie Eilish has. I mean, I look at Billie Eilish and go, damn, she's got it. She's got it made. I'm not gonna lie. She's put in the work. I mean, she's put in the work. She's done and has been creative enough with amazing music in order to get where she is. I mean, she's talented. She's stupid talented, and she's gotten where she has and made the millions she has. And even she is calling out the ones that are, but it's much different than what any wealth I have ever had. And it's not a lot, very little, very much middle class my entire life, lower middle at that. And the difference between me and her is like, whoo, like, what I feel like I could do with that money myself. Even that difference, the difference between me and her, doesn't even equate to the difference between her and him. Like, it's much, much larger. Okay, this is what we're talking about here. And she's just calling him out like, you know what you could do with your money? You fucking really understand what you could do with your money. For instance, and this, just hang with me for a second, okay? There are a little over 8 billion people in the entire world. The entire world, okay? The entire fucking world. There is a little over 8 billion, with the B, 8 billion people. 8 billion people. This one fucking man is worth over $400 billion. Okay? And I've heard, it pointed out not too long, a couple of days ago, If he could literally give $1 billion to every fucking body in the world, and he would still be a multi-$100 billion person. Talk about saving world hunger and bringing people up. Now, do I think that everybody should be giving $1 billion? No. I do not. Because again, I don't think anybody needs $1 billion. But the point is that he could do substantially more. He could do something of substance to bring people up. He could give people a few $1 million. And you know how many people would be set just with that? Could get themselves and pull themselves out of dire straits and like, you know how much that would contribute to the economy? You know, if he really wanted to boost the economy, if any fucking billionaire wanted to boost the economy, that's one fucking easy way to do it. Now, I know some of them are like, oh, you're just a freeloader. You just want free money. What the fuck has he done to get this money? What has he actually truly done? Yes, he is the face and the CEO of major companies, but what literally has he himself actually contributed to the technology, to the data, the creativity, the building and construction, the programming? I mean, he himself personally did that stuff? No. He's just a businessman who takes either ideas that he might pitch out of his ass or somebody else did, and he takes it and has a way of wheeling and dealing to get the right people and the right investments and stuff in order to get it, moving, and hire the people that can actually fucking do it. Like, people act and pretend like he is literally the reason why his companies are successful. They're successful because there's a team of fucking brilliant people that just needed some investment, some money to be able to create, actually be the creators, actually be the innovators of said technology, which, yes, he helped bring about. I give that credit. But does that mean that he then deserves to be the richest man in the world? Does that mean that he deserves a pathway to become the first trillionaire in the world? And the thing is, he could be doing all that he is doing. He could do all that he is doing. He could do the stuff and continue on his path to being a trillionaire. But then if he were to then turn around and actually substantively help people all across the world to bring up and end hunger, end homelessness, end it could even help end or significantly decrease all of these things: endangered species, environmental hazard stuff, or environmental, progression, or whatever, like Green New Deal type of stuff, or actually help build back up nations that were fucking genocided. Like, there is stuff that he could substantially do with that money and still have plenty of money and opportunity and position to do everything that he is doing now. And if he were to do it, That's the reason why attacking him is actually quite important. Because if he was to do it, then that would influence others below him to do it. Because if he was to do that, yes, I mean, he's already, has a fan base. He already has a lot of people that like him, although his fan base, I think, is dwindling some. But if he were to do those types of things, he would be the most famous, like the most praised, loved man in the motherfucking world. And others below him would be like, "God, yeah, I see what. Yeah, we want to be liked like that too. So let's help out too." But no, instead he responds, and so he could have responded. He could have responded with, actually, maybe you have a point. I do a lot of things, but I could do more. Even if he didn't want to act like he doesn't do anything, he'd be like, I do a lot, but you're right. I could do more. I could do more, and I could actually help people. I could actually truly help and end or significantly reduce a lot of these issues. You're right. I could. And I will start working on that. Now, whether he would be genuine or not, I don't know, but he could. That's the way he could have answered. It could have been respectful and like, it's some sort of humility of it. But instead, it's like, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. He dismisses it. Why? Because he doesn't care. He doesn't. And even in the deal with the trillion, he claims that it's not about money. That it was about power. That in itself should tell you a lot. This is not nothing about this argument is anti-capitalism. Nothing about it is anti-freedom or liberty or, free market kind of, philanthropy or whatever. Like, none of it is anti any of that. This is just pro, like, actually doing something that matters. Instead of, getting up there on TV or in a speech or something and acting like you're doing so much to contribute to the world, and that's the reason why you need this amount of money. I mean, he literally threatened to damn near ignore Tesla if he didn't get the $1 trillion deal. That he literally threatened that he would prioritize his other companies over Tesla. That he threatened to walk away if he didn't get a $1 trillion pathway. And then claimed it was all about wanting power, wanting control of the company. So yeah, he is fucking pathetic. And yeah, maybe he is a pussy bitch coward. Let me know what you think. I'm glad. I love it when people of power and wealth get called out. I think it's what they need, because they're often getting so much praise from, their fans and people who love them and are foolish enough to just like ignore all of those things that we've talked about. Every now and then they need some pushback. They need to know and understand that not everybody fucking likes him. Not everybody fucking praises him or think that he is doing actual good. That there are a lot of people who think that he's a pussy bitch coward. But he's not the only one that got called out. Trump did too. So we're going to talk about that in another video. So thank you very much for joining me. Let me know what you think. And until next time, peace. Clear Talk. I'm out.